sometimes it's like my dad told me. I love the advice my dad gave me. You have a long wait on a par 3 or you have a long wait on a tee shot or a second shot on a par 5. He's like, dude, don't hold on to the club. He goes, just put the thing over here. Don't even take it out of the bag. Like, go through your process normally. And he goes, go sit somewhere else. Go like over in the shade, away from where your ball is. When you see that flag going in, that flag stick, okay, make your way back over. Gun it one more time, even if you know the yardage. Pull the club out, and then go through your routine. And it keeps the flow going.
She eagle from 205 yards out.
No, on that hole?
Literally, I aimed left.
Because I saw it.
Were you there?
I saw it coming down, and I saw the ball disappear. But I thought it wasn't in, but it went in. It was
on that hole?
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. That's essentially like a double eagle.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's so cool, you guys.
She could have just
pick it up.
She couldn't pop on 3-4 feet.
Wait.
She would have won.
Absolutely, she won. She
4-putted like 5 times.
I 3-putted like 4 times. Yeah.
We're talking about Southwestern Amateur, so this is a big amateur tournament for. It's so cool because I was just telling we were just talking a week and a half, 2 weeks ago about hey, this is going to be the summer. We're going to get a couple W's. That's cool. It's okay. So yeah, so tell me, like you were watching, right? Yeah. So just a couple short putts and just.
Yeah, give me putts. She missed it because she was nervous.
Were you getting a little?
Yeah.
Well, where were they? Were they in the beginning of the tournament, beginning of round, or the end?
Second and third round.
Okay.
Third round, she's 3-putted 3 times.
No, third round I 3-putted once.
Oh, okay. Second round.
Second round, first round I 3-putted twice. Third round I 3-putted once, and then fourth round I 3-putted twice.
It's funny. It's like they call it the Tiger 5, right? That if he did these things, like he never lost or something along those lines. I'm not sure what the actual statistic is there, but I will say this: no penalty shots off the tee. No bogeys on par 5s, no easy blown saves, meaning like the short chips around the greens, the big one, no 3-putts. Yeah. And there is one other in there that I believe is passing my mind at the moment, maybe no penalty shots, something along those lines. But here's the big thing. I've been saying it for a while. When you swing like this, and we hit the ball the way we do, if you literally had 2 3-in-a-row tournaments with no 3-putts, I can guarantee you we're not out of the top 5, and I can probably guarantee you that we won 1 or 2 of those tournaments. So, hey, listen, you know what it comes down to? Parker and I did a great job of this up at the Cal-Am this week. What we did, these greens were pretty, I wouldn't say tricky, but they're quick, and they have those putts, right, that 10 feet, and it looks like, oh, hey, it's 10 feet, I should make this. But then you go to the side of the hole, and you're like, 2 feet short of that hole, it goes like this. And if I just get a little bit overzealous there, that thing's gone another 10, 15 feet. So you know what we did? We identified putts that were, hey, we're putting this putt to 2-putt, speed is the priority. And the other putts were, hey, bud, you can kind of let it roll on this one freely because we're not worried about what's gonna happen if this ball passes the hole a little bit. I think it really is an important thing to talk about. You just have to be really good at identifying those putts. Now, I know there's putts that you're like, Coach, it was 75 feet across the green. It had 8 breaks to it. Yeah, I get it. Like, we're already thinking don't 3-putt. Just get it close. And it's hard to. I get it. The advice I have for like Arizona greens, especially with those swales and stuff, you have to read the green in increments, right? Yeah. So I would really, really divvy up. If I had a 40-foot putt, it'd be like 4 different little putts within the putt. First 10 feet, second 10 feet, third, and what's going to happen at the end. I'd start then sometimes at the hole and move back. I'd say, where do I want this ball to enter the hole from because of what's going on around the hole? And then I'd start and say, okay, well, let's move back and figure out where I have to putt the first half of it to get to that spot to enter where it needs to go down the slope. Now, you guys, simply just being on the bag and just being a reminder for my students sometimes though, because here's my question for you guys next. Of the 3 putts, which it sounds like was there for the tournament 5? Okay, which, I get it, I'm on big greens and stuff. Of the 5, which ones were like, okay, like almost everybody and their mom would 3-putt that putt right there because it was just so long? Or was it like, Mr. Park, like I'm looking just a normal 20-footer that I just got a little bit maybe carried away with and it ran 3.5 feet past it and missed that? Which? It
was all those.
Really? So yeah. So
my long putts were surprisingly good. Like I didn't have to read them very much and they were decent. went basically really good. It was just the shorter putts, like
Yeah.
20 feet.
Okay.
I just,
She got nervous, so at the end, the short putt, what she would do,
So yeah. Were you taking some breaths throughout the entire routine? Kind of behind, just give it the one real.
I try to think out my mind when I putt it,
Mhm.
short putts, because that's what helps you try not to cake at least. Because like, if I stare at one thing at the ball and just look at that for a couple seconds and then
Yeah.
putt, it like helps me clear out the mind a little bit at least.
So you want to give you a couple? I'm going to give you a couple tips on how I clear out the mind. I've had a chance now to caddy for I can't wait to get on the bag for you. I cannot wait. But one thing with short putts that really helps, because sometimes this week, you guys, we'd get in there, we'd hit a chip or something on a par 5 that was for eagle, and then have a 3.5 footer on a side hill for birdie. And I'm like, this is a big putt. We got to keep the momentum going here. Let's go. And like Parker is doing his job, would walk over, talking about Parker Sisk at the California Amateur. He would go over and walk there, and he'd stand behind that ball while there's like another 5 minutes before you're hitting that ball, because everybody's still doing their thing. And this guy's putting from 60 feet. He's probably still going to be outside your 3 feet. And he's standing there looking at that ball. You know what I would do? I'd walk over. I'd be like, putt's like right here. I go, dude, check this out. Look at that hawk up in the tree. Look at the size of that hawk. And he'd be like, oh man, that's a big hawk. And I'm like, yeah, it's a monster hawk. Do you think he just like eats all the little birds around here? Like, what's his deal? And we'd sit there and have a conversation about the hawk for about 3 minutes. And then I'd look at him and it was just trying to go, oh, hey, inch outside red edge, go knock that in. And then we go, and he'd walk in there, kind of, okay. And then it wasn't enough time to sit there and think about all the possible ways there were for you to miss that putt, right? It was like, okay, me, I used to go every time there was water. I love to fish, so I'm always looking, where are the fish? Where's the bass in that pond? I want to see where the big bass is here. And then it was my turn. It wasn't like I wasn't ready. I was aware of what I was facing over there. I wasn't detaching myself. But sometimes you just don't need to sit over those 3 footers longer than you're already going to in your routine. If we were on the practice putting green, Ash, I go as far as I'm saying in the years we've been working together now, I don't think I've seen you miss a 3-foot putt on a practice putting green, maybe like ever. I'm being honest, you don't. And typically, like, you're inside 10 feet, lights out when you practice. It's 100%. Dad called it, and he knows you well. He's Pops, and he's out there watching. And you know it because you're honest with yourself and you feel it, the nerves. So all I'm trying to say is don't detach yourself from the situation, but definitely help free your mind up. You already were trying to take your mind off of it, but by telling yourself to take your mind off of it while you're standing there waiting for the putt, that's not necessarily going to do it. I've heard some crazy stuff before. I believe it was Michael Putnam. When I went to Pepperdine, I heard he said he used to trace trees with his eyes. Like, you ever traced a tree with your eyes? There's a lot of little movements there, right? That's a crazy one, but it worked for him. He's a great player. There's other ones that can help. Like I said, I look for fish. I look for wildlife all the time. Like, where's the big bird? But anyways, whatever it was, sometimes it's like my dad told me. I love the advice my dad gave me. You have a long wait on a par 3 or you have a long wait on a tee shot or a second shot on a par 5. He's like, dude, don't hold on to the club. He goes, just put the thing over here. Don't even take it out of the bag. Like, go through your process normally. And he goes, go sit somewhere else. Go like over in the shade away from where your ball is. When you see that flag going in, that flag stick, okay, make your way back over. Gun it one more time, even if you know the yardage. Pull the club out and then go through your routine. And it keeps the flow going, because, one thing I saw a lot this week, I had a chance to watch my players when they would sit there and stew over a shot, or they'd sit there and just, like right by their bag and like wait in there. You can see their eyes where they're going to be teeing off to the target, where they're going to be teeing off to the target. It's not as clean as when they get to walk up to that par 3, number, club, routine, boom, it's freed up. Yeah. That's the bummer about 3-footers. Typically you're waiting to hit it. So then I had another strategy also. For a short period of time when I was your age, if I was not impeding anybody else's line, not on their through line, not standing anywhere where they're going to be putting, I finished out. I'm not going to sit there and wait for Joe and Rob over here to take 5 or 6 minutes to get done with the hole. I'm hitting it. Like I'm just marking it. Boom. Stepping back. Right center. Super easy. All right, right center. Because you know what happens too when we stare over it for a long time? We start to think, is that right center? Or, God, I kind of, it can break a little more than that, can it? You know, and then you ask yourself those questions, and it goes with the famous saying that my coach always told me, Todd Sones, Adam, I would rather have you committed to the wrong line than uncommitted to the right line. Get a better chance to still make it most of the time. So my thing to you is you can take a couple things out of this conversation. Take yourself away from the situation physically, not just mentally. Physically doing it will take you away from it, you know, mentally. Go through the routine when it's time to go through the routine. And that last part of it right there was just making sure that, you know, you you've distracted yourself enough, but you haven't detached yourself from the situation. You're still ready to hit the shot. You're still ready to go when it's your turn, but you're not sitting over there thinking about all the ways that puck can break, all the ways you can miss it. You're just possibly finishing that out and getting it over with. And that, I would not consider that rushing it. If you just look at everybody and say, hey, I'd like to finish this. But I'm also, you know, you gotta, you know, you have to be a lady of the game, gentleman of the game. Guess what? I'm in someone's through line. My foot's gonna be right there. I'll mark, wait, you know, move over to the side of the green, do something. Yeah. The only time you're gonna see me really stew over a 3-footer if somebody's gonna be putting through my mark, I'll kind of like get kind of close to them, but not close to where it's gonna annoy them. And then when they hit it, you know, you can kind of meander your way in. That's just golf. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be played, you know, thinking about, you know, you use any opportunity you can. But cool, so there's a couple things right there that I'd like you to try to do. It starts, you guys, also with just identifying those putts. Hey, this 20-footer, it's really uphill. I'm actually gonna intentionally play this just to the front edge. So I have the little uphill putt after. This downhill putt, man, like, this thing can get away from me here. This is a putt that could easily slide by 4 feet. Here's how I'm not gonna do that, right? Okay, all right, you got it. What's our next event?
She's playing the SDG Amateur next week.
Sweet. You're good. Thank you guys so much for watching our video. Any questions or comments you have, please leave them below. Also, click the link below to pick up 3 free videos. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy our channel.